Have you ever felt betrayed by your own body? I'm not talking about something obvious, like a broken bone. I mean something quieter, something sneaky, a silent rebellion from the very senses you trust to tell you which way is up. Well, this is a story about that rebellion. It's about an unheard battle that so many people are fighting, and they don't even know it. Just imagine it. It could happen anywhere, really. You're in the grocery store, you're in your own kitchen. One second, you're just standing still. The next, the entire world erupts into a violent spin. And in that moment, you are utterly, terrifyingly alone. It's this private hurricane that no one else can see or feel.
But what if that sudden violent spin, or that deep exhaustion you feel every single day, what if these aren't just random, unlucky symptoms? What if the biggest risks to your health are making no sound at all? Okay, let's really get into this.
So it starts like this. You're minding your own business, and then suddenly, the room tilts. And I don't mean a gentle lean, I mean a sickening, violent lurch, like the floor has just been ripped away from you.
Instantly, this hot wave of nausea just crashes over you. Your stomach clenches up, your palms start to sweat. You're literally fighting to stay upright against a force that isn't even there.
And then the ground is just gone. There's no up, there is no down, there's only a violent, tumbling chaos happening inside your own head, and it has completely hijacked your reality.
You know, the official term for this kind of terror is vertigo. The definition says it's the sensation of spinning while you're still, maybe with some nausea. But that calm clinical description, it doesn't even come close to capturing the reality of it. It's like trying to describe a house fire by saying it's a rapid oxidation event. It just puts this neat little label on an experience that feels like the world is ending.
But the thing is, these vertigo attacks, as absolutely terrifying as they were only one piece of the puzzle. It wasn't just about the spinning. It was the crushing exhaustion that always came after. This deep, bone-weary fatigue that no amount of sleep could ever fix.
And right here, this is the first huge clue. The American Academy of Audiology explains that this isn't just you being tired. When you have hearing loss, your brain has to work overtime, I mean so much harder, just to compensate, constantly straining to make sense of the sounds around you. That constant effort, it causes massive stress and this profound mental exhaustion.
And this just perfectly shows how lonely this whole thing is, right? What everyone else sees is someone who's maybe a little quiet, seems distracted, or just looks tired. But what you actually feel is a brain that is screaming to focus. You feel conversations just dissolving into meaningless noise. It's like you're living with constant mental static playing in your head.
And here's the kicker. You might go to a doctor, get a test, and they tell you, hey, your hearing is normal, but you know something is wrong. Well, this is a real thing. It's called hidden hearing loss. It's a genuine difficulty hearing that standard tests just can't pick up. It is quite literally the definition of being unheard. For the longest time, I thought my hearing and my balance were two totally separate problems. You know, the vertigo was this physical attack, and the trouble hearing was this social struggle. But they weren't separate, not at all. They were two symptoms of the exact same root problem. The connection is something called sensory neural hearing loss. Okay, so what that means is there's permanent damage to these tiny microscopic hair cells deep inside your inner ear, in a little structure called the cochlea. And here's the mind-blowing part. That one tiny structure is responsible for both your sense of hearing and your sense of balance. One system, two catastrophic failures. So, finding that connection, that was a huge breakthrough. But it wasn't the end of the story. The truth, well, the truth was even more terrifying. Because it turns out my hearing problem, it wasn't just about my ears. It wasn't just about the spinning or the fatigue. It was a warning sign, a silent alarm bell for something much, much bigger. And listen to these connections. They go so much deeper than you could imagine. Research shows that when you leave hearing loss untreated, it's directly linked to a significantly increased risk of dementia because the brain is struggling and becoming isolated. It's also connected to diabetes. It's a powerful trigger for depression. It's even linked to a higher chance of heart disease. Your ears are not just for hearing. They are a window into the health of your entire body. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, this must be a rare problem, think again.
The data suggests that around 40 million adults in America may have noise-induced hearing loss. 40 million people potentially walking around with this ticking clock inside them, totally unaware of these connections.
Okay, I know that all sounds incredibly overwhelming, but this right here is the most important part of this whole explainer. The first step you take isn't about finding a cure. It's about finding an answer. And after all that chaos and confusion, an answer is everything.
You really can find solid ground again, and the path forward is actually pretty clear. Step 1, go see an audiologist. These are the absolute specialists in this field. Step 2, get a real comprehensive evaluation, one that goes way beyond the standard tests. Step 3, finally get a name for what's happening. Identify the type and degree of your condition. And then, Step 4, explore all the options out there to manage it.
The best part is, this is not something you have to figure out by yourself. The American Academy of Audiology says it perfectly. Audiologists can help you improve the quality of your life. There are literally professionals whose entire job is to help you hear the world again, to help you feel stable on your own 2 feet.
So, it all comes down to this. That little ring in your ears you've been ignoring, that exhaustion you just can't seem to shake, that one moment of dizziness you just brushed off, these things aren't just little annoyances. They are signals. Your body is sending you signals. The only question is, are you ready to finally listen?